Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming to our presentation. My name is Toshi Chino from the University of Electrical Communications in Tokyo, where it's way past my bedtime. My co-panelists are Diana Wegner and Shirley McMillan from Douglas College. This panel explores the viability of rhetorical genre study for promoting social change for a sustainable future. And the format of this panel is that three of us are going to present together first, and then we'll take up all the questions later. Now, as for sustainability, we are framing our discussions on the UN 17 SDGs, which you all are undoubtedly familiar with. And these SDGs are relevant for us because we are increasingly called upon to contribute to these goals by offering our academic expertise. The question for us, writing scholars, is what can we offer to contribute to these goals? Rhetorical genre studies can offer nuanced perspective by combining social and rhetorical dimensions, offering qualitative and naturalistic methods, integrating linguistic and rhetoric, and offering a tool for analyzing social change. Now, here are some of the main concepts in rhetorical genre studies. Genres are social actions. And it's not genre, it's not a textual form, but in terms of what it does, coming out of pragmatic traditions. Social structurations, genre theory theorizes the middle space between the macro sociological forces and individual actions. Exigence and motive, and these are pair of concepts and external pressing problems and internal cognitions. Both of them are what prompts the social actions. And in a recent literature review by Ongset 2021, he proposes content, form, time, act, and space as the pentad as a useful tool for analyzing genre, and I'll be using his framework. And finally, uptake by Friedman is a useful concept, which Diana is going to talk more, so I'm going to leave it to her. Now, my issue is responsible AI innovation and use, and they relate to SDG 9 and 12. The issue I want to focus on today is the contention that AI is a threat to human relationship. You have heard this argument in many places, in newspaper headlines, journal articles, blogs, whatever. The problem is that people tend to take polarized positions propelled by extreme fears and hopes. What I want to do in my presentation is to offer some clarity to this public conversation by looking at the issue from a rhetorical genre perspective. So let's take a simple example. Here's a situation with a diner with a problem, an exigence, if you will. It describes the genre of a complaint, a socially recognized rhetorical form that mediates private intention and social actions. Now, what happens if AI speaks on our behalf? Nothing, really. The genre is still complaint. AI communication is not a genre, and it doesn't change the genre itself. And at times, AI might be more effective in enacting the intended social act. Just to show you that this replacement by AI is not remarkable in some context, let me show you another context scenario where this genre can be enacted without any words, essentially just standing up and walking out without saying anything. So it performs the exact same act. So the point is that AI does not have to affect social actions or the human relationships that follows. Now, let's look at another scenario where AI is much more likely to be used. Let's say this diner was timid and could not bring herself to speak of the terrible thing that might have happened.
There was an old lady who swallowed a fly. I don't know why she swallowed a fly.
She missed the chaotic moment but she has the time to nurse her resentment and stew her anger. Luckily for her, she can have her revenge in the safety of the anonymous online environment where her act will be recognized as a socially acceptable complaint. But what happens if she decides to use AI to commit her deed? I'm surprised. As you know, the current ethical principle behind AI development are beneficial, safe, transparent, fair, and respectful. So if you type in a prompt like this, you'll get an answer like this. Be honest and direct. Avoid personal attacks. And be constructive. And it even offers suggestions on what to write. Now, based on this interaction with AI, she might become more goal-oriented and try another prompt like this. And then AI would give, this kind of suggestion. So what happened? Her motive was altered by the interaction with AI. And as a result, the content and form changed as well, reflecting the changes in her role and act. You may or may not find it alarming to see our motives affected by AI, but the situation is analogous to talking with a wise friend after experiencing some unspeakable horror.
There was an old lady who swallowed a fly. I don't know why she swallowed a fly.
Now let's change the scenario a little. Let's say this is your favorite restaurant and you have been going there for 10 years without any problems. You love the owner and he's like a friend to you. And you don't want to damage this relationship. But you also don't want to have this happen ever again. So if you type in this prompt, focusing on this relationship, the AI would suggest a personal email like this. Now this time, it is about human relationship. Yes, something terrible happened.
There was an old lady who swallowed a fly. I don't know why she swallowed a fly.
But conflict resolution is part of a healthy human relationship. And AI can make you recognize the appropriate social actions and appropriate genre and to preserve and strengthen human relationships. Now, AI mediation can be particularly powerful when we know when our judgment is clouded by emotions, stress, fatigues, and so on. When we know we can't do our best. What should you do? What should you say or write when you have been criticized, spurned, or rejected? I know someone who had an argument with his wife, and his AI heard it and brought up an anniversary picture. Now, you might think it's a little creepy, but then he looked at it and me kind of calmed down, and eventually he showed it to his wife, and he also calmed down, and they were able to deal with the conflict and overcome the situation. Now, the key is really prioritizing human relationship and using AI to achieve this goal. Now, it's not over yet. If the diner can use AI, so can the restaurant owner, and so can anyone else. And here's a marketing video of an actual AI tool for a restaurant owner. And this is really done by a friend of mine who works for AI company that sells these tools. Now, they advertise it in Japanese, so I put the subtitle so you can follow this along.
フィードバックに迅速に対応し、企業や店舗のオンライン評判を守ります。それでは最後にレスポンス AI の動作画面についてご説明します。この画面はお客様が見る画面になります。Google マップから口コミを自動で取得しています。口コミは新しい順に上から並んでいます。口コミの返信をする場合、右の青い返信ボタンを押すことで、このような画面に切り替わります。ここから赤い AI 自動返信ボタンを押すことで、OpenAI の GPT 言語モデル AI に接続されて、AI が自動的に口コミの返信文を作成します。これは AI が毎回作成を一から行いますので、同じ口コミ文が表示されることはありません。もしも生成した返信文が気に入らない場合は、再度返信ボタンを押すと、再び AI が口コミの返信文を生成します。そして最終的には口コミの返信文は、お客様側で最終確認をしていただいた後、青い送信ボタンを押すと、Google マップにこの文章が送信されます。生成文の言い回しが気に入らない、部分的に変えたいという場合は、常にここからテキストの編集が可能となります。これがレスポンス AI の動作イメージとなります。以上が口コミ返信 AI サービス、レスポンス AI のご紹介となります。これは、ストア AI。
Now, if you're wondering, yes, she is AI as well. Now, double AI mediated relationship sounds pretty bad, doesn't it? They're not even willing to make the necessary social investment themselves to this relationship. But the mere fact that they're using AI is still a reflection of their desire to continue this relationship. But yes, there are dangers. There's a danger of replacing a real human relationship with an appearance of a relationship by not putting in the effort. And there's a danger of alienating the other person who recognizes that you're using an AI. And people don't like that. And there's a potential of losing the social skills for maintaining relationships through lack of use if you rely on it too much. But there are potentials as well. You could potentially maintain a large network of relationships that are otherwise lost. And there's also the potential for establishing and managing a relationship between hostile parties that they cannot even bear to speak to each other. And we can think of certain nation states at this moment, right? So could double AI mediated relationship a viable option here? Now let's come back to the original fear. Will human interactions ever disappear? Possibly, or at least reduce in some genres where the genre is mostly transactional. Think of elevator operators, ATMs, stenographers, automated checkout machines, travel agents, Uber Eats, and so on. But I don't think it will disappear when human interaction is central to human interactions. Family gathering, for example, the whole point is getting together and seeing a family. Performing arts. Yes, there are AI arts, but there are also human performing arts, where the whole point of the art is that it's done by humans. Volunteer work, it's about showing up and actually having this social interactions and doing work together. Human friendship, human romantic relationships. Can you imagine having a significant other with whom you can only communicate through AI interpreter, for example? So what does rhetorical genre studies offer in understanding responsible AI for sustainable future? In some situations, AI doesn't change anything. And in some situations, AI can be actually helpful in enhancing those social actions. And AI can mediate or even change social motives for better or worse, depending on what you do. But the key is to prioritize